Hello real world spectators, my name is Rain and welcome to another video log of my life on the Isekai realm. This is video log number 17 and we're starting things off here in the castle that we finished the last time. Well, sort of finished, well, mostly finished because, well, I'll be working here today a bit more. I'll be working on the inside this time since we're basically done with the majority of the outside with the exception of a few things, but as you can see here, much of it has been done already. Basically just a little bit of texturizing and decorating outside, which is not as much as it's going to be inside. So today we will be working on the inside part of this build, and there's a particular section that I'll be focusing on, and that's the last part of this build that we worked on. This section over here. As you can see, I have a portal laid out there already that leads to the Guardian Farm, so we will work on decorating this particular room. Let's go inside so that I can show you a few changes that occurred inside of the Guardian Farm. Alright, this way. And already you can tell that we have a new access point to the Nether. It's no longer the portal that's at the mining outpost. Now we can access the Guardian Farm from the castle, and as you can see, I have this new drop-off point here that I fixed up. These are all the chests that have the splash potions and the parts that they drop that we can use in order to create valuable stuff like sea lanterns and prismarine blocks that we can sell eventually. So let's go to the overworld part of this farm. As you can see, I'm already here. For those who don't know, I built this farm very early on in this season, and the reason I'm here is because I'm going to be turning this on so that we can have some guardians enter the Nether, so that we can test out the new drop-off point that I designed and see if it's safe enough and it will hold in all the guardians that go inside of the portals, and hopefully when they get to the other side they don't scatter about inside of the Nether and then we have issues having to get rid of them afterwards. So this is just a test to see if it actually works. So let's turn that off and head back to the portal room inside of our castle and see if they are held in properly. Alright, fortunately the actual Guardian Farm in the overworld is not very far from the castle, so I only had to use one rocket. Alright, there we go. All the guardians seem to have made it quite safely inside of here, and none of them have been released from here, so it traps them in quite well in this area here, the new drop-off point that I designed. And as you can see, what is different about this from the other one is that it's a 3D design, so you can basically grab a potion from the chest here and throw it at them from any angle, and it should get rid of them just like that. See, easy to use just as before, and just as before we have hoppers that send all of the drops inside of this chest right here, so everything will be collected. And I'm very glad to see that my design using these trapdoors here actually worked to hold them in. So let me get some blocks here so that I can pillar upward and show you what it is that I did to make this happen. So because trapdoors need redstone to be activated, like that one down there, what I did was use levers above each of the trapdoors, place one here to activate it, and then we had an activated trapdoor, cover that up, and seamlessly we have some iron trapdoors here to hold in safely the guardians that fall down into this drop-off point here. So it's very basic, but it gives you a better experience than the one that's just stuck onto the wall like that. Speaking of walls, I'll have to actually eventually fix up in here as well. Instead of having these nether rock walls, I'll be fixing up in here at some point in the near future. So let's go back to the overworld and fix up the portal room. Alright, so we're back. Let's see what we can do here. What we need to do is to fix up the walls specifically of this room, because it looks very plain and gray and we want it to fit with the theme of the castle. So I'll go ahead and gather up some materials that we can use in order to start this build. As usual with the start of any project, I get a little workstation area set up nearby, and the first thing I want to work on is a staircase here that leads to the second floor of this part of the castle. So what I'm going to do is create a decently sized opening for this staircase to go upwards. So since this castle is a large build, we definitely won't be having a 1 block wide staircase. So using these spruce stairs as an outline, I'll be opening an entire area here. So let me get rid of some of these blocks, and then I'll be outlining them, as I said, with these spruce stairs so that we have, you know, a little difference between the dark oak planks and the colors of the spruce. Place that there, and as you can see, this is more or less what I had in mind. And also I decided on a 3 wide staircase going upward. Let me remove these from here because I will be placing down the stairs next that lead downward from there. I'm going to be opening this area a little bit more, but what I need to do first is lay out the foundation for the stairs to be put on just like that. So we have these full blocks here, and then we put the stairs there. So the stairs will be the same color as the flooring, but I realized that would be a little bit too plain. So I do have an idea that I'll be using in order to make it look a bit differentiated from the actual floor itself. So that will be on the sides of this. I'll be putting some fences, but first let me just fill in the back part of these stairs. And then I'll add in some oak fences on the sides of the staircase, like this. It will serve to have a difference in color, so we will have more detail, and also it can serve somewhat like a little railing beside the staircase. So that's the idea that I had in order to have a difference between the staircase and the floor so that it doesn't look too plain and too monotonous. Alright, so I'm done with both sides now, and this is what it turned out looking like. I think it goes quite well as a segue to the second floor of this side of the build. And so in order to start working on the walls, I moved my workstation up here, and as you can see, this is the size of the opening that I went with. Railings don't really work in here at all. It feels like it takes up too much space and it doesn't work for me. So what I'm going to do is just leave it as an open space here because it works better, and it also gives it more space inside, a more spacious feel. So I decided not to add railings at the top of the opening. Let's start working on these walls now, and what I need to get is some blocks that come from the drops in my farm so that I can incorporate some of the ocean monument inside of the decoration of this build. What? Hello? There was just an Enderman there. That's so strange. How did it even get in here? It probably wandered into my castle and ended up in there. So let's go get some of the... Is that a ghost? I didn't even realize that they could spawn in there. Like, oh boy, it looks like I don't have any arrows on me, so I guess I'll have to make a run for it and get rid of him before he can release a ghost ball attack at me. Let's see. Let's go! Ah, there we go. Thankfully, they are very easy to kill. That also gives me some precious gunpowder because that's so difficult to get in this world. So what I'm going to do is mix some of these ink sacs that I got from squids with some of these prismarine shards here in order to make this block right here dark prismarine. It's sort of expensive since ink sacs are a bit difficult to get, but it looks really nice. I really like the dark texture to it and the little grid pattern that it has, and we will be using that along with some sea lanterns in order to add to the walls of this build so that we have, like, you know, to show that it's a room that will lead into the Guardian Farm. You know, we need to use some of the drops that the Guardian Farm produces, and I think it will go well with the color scheme that I have in mind, using dark oak wood and also some spruce. So what I'm going to do right now is fill out the pillars that should hold up the structure using these dark oak wood, and then I'll get back to you once I'm done with that. So this is more or less what I had in mind for the walls. Let me remove that from there because at the top I will be filling it in with a border using where is it? Oh, there it is. Upside down staircases like this so that it can have a decent outline. Let me just put that there and then put the staircase. So I'll be fixing it quite neatly so it's a gradual blend into the ceiling, which is actually the floor of the second floor, just like that. Then I'll go ahead and fill in the rest of the walls using the logs and the spruce. So at this point I've already gotten a hang of it and know how it will be set up. Then after filling in the top borders like that, we can do the same for the bottom and create a border using upside down staircases just like this. So we'll be putting this all around the room. And in order for the corners to not look so abrupt, I'll be putting in some dark oak fences here, and I'll be doing the same here in this corner here, but with actual spruce fences instead, so that we can have a difference in color from the dark oak and the spruce. So let's add them in here and on the other side, and immediately you can tell that the added detail makes the wall look much better. So let's add in these more, and all around then we can start adding in the prismarine blocks, the dark prismarine and the sea lanterns. What I have in mind for the dark prismarine blocks is to have a center line made out of these dark prismarine blocks go all the way around the wall. So I'll be removing these center blocks here and then adding the dark prismarine just like that. I will have them in the pillars and also in the walls. And with the pillars, I'll also be alternating between sea lantern and dark prismarine. So we have one in, one out. Let me just remove this and add in another one here. That way, the sea lanterns can also give light in this room, so we have nothing hostile spawning in here. So I'll go ahead and fill in the rest of the walls with the dark prismarine and the sea lanterns, alternating as I go along. Since the sea lanterns on the wall are not enough light to light this place properly, I decided to put some sea lanterns below the floor and cover it up with a transparent block, such as a stair or slab. That way we don't have mobs spawning and destroying the place, and I'm talking specifically about the creepers. So this is what the entire room looks like, completed with all the sea lanterns and everything. And the prismarine bordering, I think it looks quite well, and I feel like there's just a little bit of detail left for me to add, and that has to do with the little gaps between each of the pillars. I really want to put some plants right there so that it can give an extra detail and added color. So let's get to that quickly. Alright, so I've gone back to the mining outpost to get these flower pots here, and the plant that I decided to put inside of them is these ferns, because they are native to this taiga biome which we are currently in. Well, specifically we are in a mega taiga biome with the giant spruce trees, but they are also found here, so I think it will go well within the gaps. I'll leave this area empty because I want to put some barrels here for some stuff that I want to store. And yeah, I think it goes quite well, and I guess that's it. We're basically done with this room right here, and I think it came out quite well. What do you think about it? Do you think that it looks really nice? Tell me in the comments below. Also, I think I need to fix that portal a bit because it looks a bit off, so I'll get to work on that quickly before we move on to another part of this build. This right here looks a little too abrupt, so I'll be putting some spruce fence in so that it can blend in quite nice. And it fits in quite well. It was a great idea that I came up with. So let's just fill in all of this right here so that it looks well blended in. I love the detail that goes with it. It looks like the walls are actually tied into the columns right there. This was a great idea. I'll be using it a lot more when it comes to this castle build's interior. And before I fix the portal, I want to go upstairs and tell you more or less what I have in mind for this area. And for this second floor here, I'll be using a lot of prismarine blocks. What I want to do is fix up there to have like a little bit of chandeliers, sort of lighting hanging downward. But let me quickly fix up this portal here before I forget. So the issue with this is that the black part of this shows, and basically what I need is for it to look just like the bottom part. So it needs to be extended one more block upward like this so that it doesn't show, and then we can light it up now. And yeah, that looks much better. It's much more symmetrical and it looks much more open, so I'm quite satisfied with it. Alright, so before I can start working on the second floor of this project, like I mentioned before, I want to add some chandeliers in here using some of the prismarine materials that we get from the garden farm. What I want to do is work on a separate thing, just as a little breather, you know, to have a little change of pace, a new scenery to work with. And that is in regard to these stone bases here that the castle is sitting on. I want to work on the first layer and change it into stone bricks completely. And there's also a special little design that I have in mind to make it look more, you know, like a castle. Something that is supposed to be expensive looking. And it is, as I just said, it's not only going to look expensive, it's also going to be very expensive. So I don't have any cobblestone. What I need is to make some furnaces. So what I need to do is to go gather up or purchase some of the materials. But what I have in mind is that it will have stone bricks at the top layer and also going downward, but as it goes down, it will gradually decay or deteriorate. So I'll be mixing it in with some stone blocks and some other variations of gray blocks so that it has texture and definition. You know, we don't want it to look too simple or too plain. That's my style of building anyway. So let's make some stone bricks here and get started on the first layer of this build. Something that I need in order to make a blast furnace to make the border of the first layer is we need a lot of furnaces, and we also need smooth stone and a lot of stacks of iron in order to do this. So I'll be buying some stocks from Raskatron. So let's make a few of them here. We can make 5 of them right here. So let's do that. And basically what I need to do is get more of these cobblestones right here because I have none of these. So fortunately we have a shop in the shopping district that sells cobblestone, so I'll be buying from there a lot. And also I need to get a lot of iron, and thankfully Raskatron has a farm for that. So let's get to gathering these resources, shall we? Okay, I'm here at Gobble My Cobble. Hopefully they have some cobblestone, regular cobblestone in stock, because the last time I came here I actually bought some mossy cobblestones to fix the wall. So mossy cobblestone and regular cobblestone. Let's see. Yes, they do have quite the amount in stock, so I'll be buying some of these so that I can use to make some furnaces. Alright, so now I'm back at the work site and I've made a few more blast furnaces, and this is what I'll be using in order to make the borders at the top of the first layer of the base of the castle. Let me show you right now what I have planned and what I'm going to do in regard to this. So I'll grab a few of these stone stairs, stone brick stairs, and then I'll head up there, remove a couple layers from here, and then I'll be replacing them with the exact design that I have in mind. First, I'll remove the regular stone stairs and then one layer below that of stone blocks and replace them with these blast furnaces. We will have this side facing that way it doesn't show, because we only want the sides of the blast furnace to show. This side here, because it looks really nice, it looks well made. And the best part is it blends in well with actual stone bricks, because it looks like the bottom part of it is actually a part of a stone brick as well. So let's fill in the rest of this so that I have a section, a test section, to show you all what it will look like in the end. Then after that, we just have to cover these up with some stone brick stairs, just like that. Then remove all of the stone blocks from below it. Fortunately, we can recycle these to make the stone bricks that we will be refilling it in with. And just a bit more. That's what it should look like. That looks really nice. As you can see, the blast furnace blends well. And what I'm going to do is do the entire top layer all around the castle base, and then I'll work on the other layers some other time, not right now because that's going to take too much time. So I'll get back to you when I'm done doing all of that. Okay, so now I'm done with this, the first layer of the base of the castle, replaced with stone bricks and also a border of blast furnaces. So what I'm going to do is take a quick flight around just to quickly show you guys how much of it I actually got done, which is everything on the first layer, as you can see here, going all the way around the castle. It was a bit tedious and time consuming, but I got everything done and I'm very satisfied with this. Now we can go back. Now we can go back into the castle and work on the second floor of the Guardian Portal room. Alright, so now that we're here, we can start working on the light fixtures that I want to install in the second floor of this Guardian Portal room. So what I'm going to do right now is pillar upward and create somewhat of a ceiling up here using these oak wood planks, because we don't want any of the nether bricks nor the red nether brick blocks to be showing, because that's completely different from the color scheme that I'm going for this. So once we have this set up, we can start installing these light fixtures, and also, well, one of them will be a little bit bigger and will look a little bit like a chandelier because it will hang down a bit, but it won't be anything that massive because not anything big can fit in this particular area. Okay, so this is what I came up with for the roof. We have an area that goes up more. There is where I'll be installing the chandelier part. And also on the sides, I have planned for a little lighting fixture. So I have gathered up, I guess, enough materials that I can use in order to start this. So we'll be using these two blocks here And also some of these prismarine bricks here, because I haven't used any of this yet, so that we can make these fixtures look really nice. So I'll start here with some little lighting fixtures before I get to working on the chandelier part. So we'll start here with the small light fixtures using a source of light, which is the sea lanterns, and we'll use some dark prismarine stairs around it just like this, so that it looks like we have something holding it together. And it's as simple as this, using the prismarine brick slabs to have it more solid. And I already made one right there, so now we can go ahead and start working on the chandelier thing, which I'll just skip straight to the point and show you my progress. Alright, there we go. I already built the base part of this hanging fixture. As you can see, it has a similar but bigger design to the small fixture. Right there, and we have some iron bars that go down that I'll also build another part to, so that it looks like it's hanging down from the ceiling. Obviously, that will have a different design, and using some prismarine walls, more of the prismarine blocks, and that is what it should look like. What do you think about this design for the hanging fixture part of this build? I think it looks quite nice. Of course, the thing with prismarine is that it changes color, so every time you come up, it might probably look a little bit greener or a little bit bluer, depending on what phase of color it's actually on, because it does change color a lot. But I think this is a great idea to continue a part of this entire section, which is used for the Guardian Farm, right? For housing the Guardian Farm portal. So I guess that's it for that. I didn't take that much time with it. So what I'm going to do, like I said before, is I'm going to put some barrels behind here for a bit of storage. Oh, and before I leave this place, I realized I still have to fill in some areas, like the ceiling of this, because we don't want the red nether brick to be showing. So I'll fill that in right now to have a ceiling to fill it out using the dark oak wood planks. And of course, we'll use some of these fences so that we can smoothen out these sharp, abrupt edges. Then we go ahead and fill out the ceiling of the hallway that leads toward the main castle. Alright, final blocks. Oh, we have one missing there too. Alright, so everything is done in regard to this ceiling. Everything flows quite neatly into the actual main castle. Since I had already decided from the beginning that I'll be using this entire empty space here to create an automatic redstone storage system, I need drop-off points on these two sides here to bring the items down here to be stored and sorted, right? So what I'll do is go up at the top and build two drop-off areas. So I need two rooms, one over this side here and one over here, that will have chests that will funnel down the items that I drop off and sort them at the bottom in the storage system. So let's just build some walls here quickly and see what we can manage. Alright, so now we have the two drop-off points ready. Let's see inside. What I have planned is that I'll have a chest here with a hopper below, so that when we drop off the items in the chest, they will be sent downwards to the storage system. And I also want to decorate the face of this area here to look a little bit unique, because everything looks too wood-like and the same usual colors. So maybe if we mix it up a bit. Also, for the sides here, I want to put some barrels here to use as a storage system for non-stackable items that I cannot put within the storage system itself. So I'll basically be using it for stuff like weapons and tools and armors. Basically those for now. Alright, so I went ahead and did a bit of decorating, and as you can see, well, I have to make some space here because it's taking a lot of space with all these pillars. So I'm going to remove many of these pillars so that I can have a decent view here. So I'll leave these in just in case I need to put them back. So they'll basically serve as markers. But as you can see here, I actually went ahead and decorated it. I texturized it really well using fence posts, and at the back I interchanged like a checkered pattern with the oak block, with the spruce blocks and the dark oak blocks. As you can see from inside, that's how it looks, but it's more texturized at the on the outside because of the fences that I also added up on it. And I think that looks really nice. I feel like with all of this wood and texture and detail, it fits in well with the Japanese architecture theme that I wanted to have going on here. So yeah, each of these rooms are now finished, and basically all I need to do now is utilize these barrels to store whatever armor that I got from the end dimension before and put them in here, the weapons and the armors and the tools. So let me just put a sign down here to label these things. So this side will be used for weapons like swords and bows and such. On this side, well, I'll be using for armor, such as, you know, the helms, the turtle shell helmets, the elytras, all of those things, and the tools as well, such as pickaxes and whatnot. Alright, so I've gone ahead and emptied out all my armors and tools and weapons into these barrels right here. I also built another staircase going upward to the I guess this would be like the second floor of the main building. And I guess that's it for building in this castle for now. And unfortunately, that's all the time I have for this video log here. We're already about 25 minutes in. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as usual, if you enjoyed, please click that like button, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe, and definitely if you leave a comment below, I will be answering that right away, or well, as soon as possible, right? And also, I'm very sorry for not taking out videos regularly, especially with this month that just passed by. I was so busy with real life that I didn't have the opportunity to deal with this. I had already recorded all of this footage and I'm just getting around to editing it. That's why we have this episode here now. But because I have a decent amount of footage waiting around, and also I have many plans that I want to bring to reality within the Isekai realm, I will be releasing videos quite regularly. So count on it that at least once per week I will be releasing a new episode. So let's see what will happen next. Whoa! Look how majestic my castle looks from all the way over here. It looks amazing, doesn't it? Hi, it's me again, and I'm here to tell you, very quietly, that we'll be bringing Zombie Steve back to life. So we'll be following the instructions left behind by LPT5 in his book. So what I need to get from my zombie spawner below is a deviant zombie, and once I get that and put it inside of the capsule, we can get this started. But shh! Keep it to yourself, because whenever I announce that I'm going to do this, for some reason, a lot of pillager patrols come around.